great is that we keep the what ifs on paper. All the questions that you have, you get to ask your financial advisor. What if I withdraw $1,000 every month? What if I take a lump sum and I pay off my house? What if I decide to travel around the world? Well, we put that into the calculations and then we determine the probability of success. If you have $1 million and you want to go buy a yacht, the odds that you're going to have enough for retirement are very, very low. But if you have $100 million and you want to go buy a yacht, guess what? That probability is a little higher. So going over your what ifs before you execute is great. One of the biggest things we see retirees do is they spend their money first, then they go to a financial advisor and says, how do I keep the remaining amount there? Unfortunately, that's where they mess up at, is because if they would have made better decisions prior to the distribution, they would have a higher probability of success. But when you take $100,000, $300,000, put it into a house before you determine how much you're going to need on a monthly basis, that can demolish your financial plans. And now you're working 3 and 5 steps backwards before you can move forward. Another big mistake is procrastination. People just wait to hire a financial advisor. They typically wait until they're in trouble, what we consider life events. They wait until they get married, or they go into a divorce, or maybe there's a prenuptial agreement. They wait for a birth of a child. They wait for their kids to get out of the house. They wait for a retirement date. Those are all the wrong times to hire a financial advisor. Why? Because at those times, it's time to make decisions. It's not time to think about decisions. Before you get married, it's the time to determine how are you going to handle your separate property. That is the time to determine how are you going to share bank accounts. That is the time to determine how much money you are going to spend on a monthly basis. That is the time to determine who has how much debt and how much you're going to take and how much you're going to pay off and how much of that marital asset is going to that debt. That's what you need to know, not when you get married and now you realize that this person is $200,000 in debt and you are going to be responsible for it. That's not where you want to find out at. So procrastination is not always the best thing. Well, I'll wait till I retire to get there. No, we want to plan before retirement, because if we can make plans before, we can actually determine our retirement date. Everyone wants to know, when can I retire? When can I retire? Well, when it's financially sound for you to. Sometimes you just want to quit. So you can emotionally quit if you want to, but once again, that may lower your probability. But working with a financial advisor, you can have that conversation. You can keep your what ifs on the paper. Understand this, there are no quick fixes. On the internet, there's tons of quick fixes. People come onto here and they'll tell you how easy it is to have a financial plan, how easy it is to retire. Do these simple things and you'll have a happy retirement. You can look on my page. I have dozens of videos where I explain different aspects of retirement. And if you can tell me you know everything that's in those videos, then I would say maybe you're on the path to retirement. But guess what? I have over 100 videos that's already ready to go for the remainder of the year that talk about different retirement topics. And I'm talking about different retirement topics, not the same retirement topics. So if you can produce over 100 videos about retirement, then maybe you are on the path to understanding retirement. But there is too much to know. And guess what? It's too much personal things to know as well. Now, all the financial information may not apply to you, but you need to understand how it does. Working with a financial advisor will take your specific situation, because there's so many variables that go into these decisions. Whether you should take a direct rollover, do an indirect rollover, should you take money out first, should you move it over into an IRA, should you pay off your home, should you pay off a car, should you take distributions every month, should you take out a loan on your 401k? All those are going to be different variables that you need to discuss on a personal level. You can't take general advice online. None of my videos say, this is what you should do, point blank, period. That's not how that works. That's not how financial advising works. This is saying, this is the process. These are some of the things you may need to consider. Now let's think about making a better choice. But working with a financial advisor, we can identify some of those variables that are in your life that you may not think about. Understand this, brothers and sisters, the shortcut is the long way. Many times we look for these quick fixes or these quick answers in a quick 5-minute video. We make a choice, we make a bad decision, and now we got to go the long way. If you decide to roll over your 401k into your savings account, somebody on the internet said that's your money, you need to take it. Maybe you read a Reddit thread where someone said, I took all my money out of my 401k because that's what I want to do. It's my money, I can do it. And you make that mistake. Guess what? There's going to be a huge tax bill because you didn't do any proper planning, because you listened to somebody who was a random person online and you did not work with a professional. Because once again, retirement is a probability thing. If you have an 80% chance of retiring, there is a 20% chance of failure. There's something that could occur. And if that does occur, does that mean that the financial plan was wrong? No. Does it mean the financial advisor was wrong? No, it doesn't. It just means you are seeing that 20% come into fruition. And there's no way to avoid it if those are the circumstances that line up. But what we can do is reduce that risk from 20%, let's say, to 10%, or maybe even 5%. As I said before, we cannot eliminate risk because there's always some form of risk that we need to prepare for or that could occur that is outside of our control. It's almost like the weather. We can't control the weather, but we can control if we have an umbrella that we've already bought, or we have some type of raincoat if we are going out in those conditions, right? And that's what a financial advisor does. It forecasts that, hey, it's wintertime. It may be some snow. We may want to get some snow chains for our tires, or it's going to be tropical storms here in the South. Make sure that you get a raincoat and some umbrellas, because when you're going in and out the car, you want to make sure that you stay dry. Does it guarantee that every day is going to be wet? No, it may be dry and you may only use your umbrella once or twice, or it could rain every day and you'll be glad that you had your umbrella. All those things are going to be considered in your financial plan. Financial plans are more than money.